favorite metaphor for what he did to Afreeca in that last game.
Wow.
If a bit lurid.
You know, you're just rolling with it now, and I respect that.
Thanks.
Just, why not just go with it?
When you make a mistake, you got to double down on it. In for a penny, in for a pound.
I have learned that from other personalities in the League of Legends world recently, actually. It's true. Yep.
That's right. In for a penny, in for a pound. That's how it works in esports.
I've learned this. Well, luckily for you, we're into picks and bans for game number 3 between Samsung and Afreeca Freecs. We can move on. We can see what Core JJ
sticks it in next.
Let's see where he puts it. It being his
his champion selection.
That's right. A lot of things.
Yeah, it's going to be Samsung again on the blue side. So Afreeca not rattled by a red side loss, and each team very confident. It's a 3rd game in a row. We've had the same sides for these teams, and it will be the same bans for Samsung.
Okay.
So will it be the Lissandra ban here for Afreeca? Or are they going to go for the Taliyah? I think Taliyah is a better ban, and there it is.
Yeah, that Taliyah wrecked them pretty hard last game, and it's going to be an Echo first pick for Samsung.
Yeah, surprisingly, we haven't seen any Gnar in this series, but that may change right now.
Yep. Certainly could. And Ixu certainly no stranger to doing well with Gnar in the top lane. Did quite well against Trace, actually. The Jin Air match they played on Monday.
Yeah, I think that the Gnar has to come out right now. The GP has not been working. Please do not hover over Teemo.
This happens sometimes, you know.
You accidentally lock in the Teemo, and then you're set. In fact, Afreeca will just go for the Lissandra here. They did select Lissandra Jin in the first round of the draft on the red side in game number 1, and they can double down it. Mickey had a fantastic game on Lissandra.
Now, they decided to go with the Lee Sin rather than the Elise that game, too, but Lyra taking something a bit more standard this time around.
Yeah, I think that they're going to take the Elise early and set up another pick composition. They did take Lee Sin as the 2nd round of the draft in game number 1, but instead going to deny Ambition. And this is important because Ambition's most played champions this season have been Rek'Sai first, Elise second. So they're just trying to cut down his champion pool.
Probably pretty wise to do it. This is going to maybe put him back on that Nidalee, which after game 1, I feel like Afreeca really is kind of hoping for.
Samsung may also get their first game on Jin.
They will.
In this series, so not taken first by Afreeca for the first time, and falls all the way down into the 2nd pick of blue side, and they're going to be going for a poke composition.
Well, will they? I mean, Afreeca Freecs might be thinking about taking away this Varus, but
well, they definitely know that Varus is a big danger to a 4-1 split composition right now. So Tom Kench, and they could run the Lissandra in the top side instead, and that's what they're going to do. Ixu sees the Echo, and he will be attempting to punish the Echo, and this is not a matchup that we see very often in that top lane, but if you have the Lissandra, if the Echo tries to trade on you with the phase dive, he is going to get stopped up by the Ring of Frost and then hit with a bunch of Qs, so he's not going to be able to trade very effectively against the Lissandra in top.
Now, the Zilean would be a bit of a surprise for Samsung. Obviously, we know all about Fly on KT Rolster playing that Zilean in the mid lane. It is a pretty good matchup against the Varus, I suppose, but can Crown play it? Is this maybe another secret weapon from Samsung?
I'm not sure the Zilean is a great pick here. Certainly you can revive that Echo once he goes in, and of course he'll have the ult as well, so it makes it very difficult to kill Cuvée in some of these fights, and they're going to go for it. So, wow, shocking, actually, that the Zilean gets locked in. That has been, as you say, as you notice, the KT special throughout this season. And, in fact, Crown this season has 0 games on Zilean.
Most people have 0 games on Zilean this season.
And the Braum to stop some of the poke from the Varus. And, wow.
So it
Songyun having a chuckle right there.
He loves it. But, you know, to be fair, it is easier to land those bombs on the Varus in the mid lane with that Zilean. Varus is not super mobile.
And you can speed yourself up to avoid
the Gnar.
Poke, and it will be the Gnar. So Gnar versus Echo. This is a matchup that starts out pretty even, but after the Gnar picks up a Frozen Mallet, really does go heavily in favor of the Gnar when it comes to split pushing. But with a Zillion, you're not going to be split pushing anyway. You're going to be grouping up as 5 and trying to siege and team fight, which they can definitely do with the Jin and Nidalee poke, as well as the zones that Echo can create just to push people back off the turret. So Samsung really is going to be running a 5-man siege composition here. And Afreeca, once again, Songyun is going to be playing AD carry Varus.
Yeah, we haven't seen Varus at AD very often lately.
No. No, we have not. Well, this is going to be interesting, Noah.
Yeah.
Hard to stay alive in that lane, but at least you have the Tahm Kench to carry you out of danger with the Devour.
I mean, it's a ton of
crowd
CC,
control.
yeah.
It's a ton of crowd control. I mean, you hit that Gnar ult into Lissandra ult into a Chain of Corruption.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of stuns that will not be able to be effectively responded to by Samsung, but Varus is vulnerable in the laning phase.
I mean, if Varus dies too, there's not a ton of damage on Afreeca after that as well.
Yeah, I feel like this is mostly just a blocker pick to prevent Crown from getting that Varus. So we'll see if Songyun has been preparing for an AD carry Varus selection.
Well, you'd think it'd have to be. And so this series all tied up. Whoever wins this one is going to put themselves 1 game away from moving on to the next stage of the gauntlet, getting to play a best of 5 against KT Rolster for a shot at the 2016 League of Legends World Championships. Let's see who jumps out to that final lead. Samsung versus Afreeca Freecs. Let's get in the game. Guy just yelling Jet Fighter at the end of that? That is.
I thought I heard Final, but maybe it's Jet Fighter.
I mean, Jet Fighters are cool.
Are they scream-worthy, though?
Jet Fighter! Maybe if one's flying at you.
Maybe if you're in the Top Gun soundtrack.
Yeah, that's true. Then you just fly into the danger zone. Well, speaking of the danger zone, Samsung, Afreeca Freecs, both kind of in the danger zone, as whoever loses this game will be on the verge of being eliminated from essentially competition for the rest of the year. So it's a big one.
Hey man, there are still some IEMs. I don't know if Kespa's Cups is coming back.
It's true.
But they will have a quiet couple of months, that's for sure.
There's a chance.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
A Cuvée fan. That is a smiling Cuvée.
They're hanging their Cuvée out to dry.
And they deserve to smile about Cuvée right now, not to hang him out to dry. You had a great game in game number 2 on that Echo, trying to repeat that performance, but certainly in a tougher matchup against the Gnar this time.
So what can Crown do on this Zillion? That's the question, because we've seen a lot of good Zillion play from Fly. We've seen Faker win with it, but not look spectacular on it. But for Crown, this is kind of new territory.
Yeah. Crown has been a very diverse mid laner, though, so
yeah,
certainly one of the better mids in Korea right now.
He does remind me of Fly a little bit, honestly, in that he's got a lot of picks you wouldn't expect.
And also, I think he's a lot better than Fly personally. We've seen him; he was really standing out. Certainly, with the help of his Victor play, but he topped out the damage per minute charts for most of the regular season. Certainly with Varus and Victor, that does help you accomplish that goal, but he's been doing basically 32, 33% of his team's total damage, so he's been their primary carry. And we've even seen that in this series. They did a ton on Talia in the last game.
Sue on this Gnar now. He's had quite a few good games on that champion.
The main problem you have to worry about with Zillion here is the late game damage, because they don't have any kind of real late game hyper carry here to revive, and Zillion provides more utility than anything else. Ambition super low. Lyra going to be taking this red buff away.
Well, I mean, that's one of the dangers of playing this Nidalee, is that you do get pretty low at some points in your early clears. So
yeah, it's one of the big changes, is that Nidalee, after the 615 nerfs, doesn't have such a clean clear any longer.
And that's a big danger, because as time goes on, other junglers will get better at exploiting that kind of thing. So this Nidalee pick, you'd think it would probably fall off here.
Right, it's been strangely contested in this series. We've seen it literally every single game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like Nidalee has almost become kind of Lee Sin 2.0 in Korea. The junglers love playing with Nidalee. Nerfs or not, there's a cocoon on to Kube. Kube might be in a bit of trouble here. Ixu coming down. There's a flash used. It's going to be probably first blood. Flashing for it. No, not quite getting it. Ambition with the clutch heal right at the end.
Wow, they could have gone harder on that too. That's the sad part. They thought that because of the burn from the red buff, that Cube was going to die, but Ambition gets the heal in. And even though Mickey responded first, they could have gone into the jungle and maybe cleaned that kill up. Because Mickey had the angle on the crown, they got a little bit cocky, and it ends up costing them. They use 2 flashes for that, only get 1 in return.
I suppose there's a reason to play the Nidalee. Keep your top laner alive.
I'm sure Zillion will be handling most of those duties later in this game once they start to group up. But Samsung, because of their relative lack of late game damage, it's got to be about just pushing and pushing in the mid game for them, trying to group up as 5 and Siege. Only really Varus with the wave clear, and if he doesn't have the minions stacked up in a line, he does have trouble clearing them out. So as long as you zone him off the turret so he can't get the shot at the wave before it breaks, you will be in a good position to take down towers. And they have the tools to do that, parallel conversion, put the time bombs, everything.
And speaking of bombs, Crown dropping him on Mickey, doing a decent amount of damage. Or JJ trying to be annoying near this blue buff. It's a cool bear skin too.
One of the new ones. Is that like Dark Star Varus or something?
I think so. Oh, poor JJ caught out a little bit. Crown's there though, so no opportunity for first blood really from the Afreeca Freecs.
Takes a lot of effort to throw that boomerang, dog.
Well, see, it's like in tennis when you go whenever you hit the ball. It's just about the torque, you know. I was told
vocal torque.
I was told that you need to make that sound if you're playing tennis. You want to hit the ball hard. It's about the muscles or something in your core, not your core JJ. Regular core.
Core JJ doesn't have a lot of muscles, I don't think.
Braum does, though. He's a muscly dude.
Lyra gonna get seen there by a ward.
It's a deep ward.
Yeah, he just dropped by Ambition there with a little bit of counter jungling. Gets the necessary information, and QA is gonna back off after that. Not gonna go ahead and use his ult early to recall, and also not gonna protect his pink ward. Still worried about Lyra being there, which is certainly justified. He's not going to walk up and contest when he just saw Lyra, and Ixu playing confidently to go clear that vision out means that those will be a 2v1. Wow, boots of mobility first for Lyra. That is a jungle first item we haven't seen in a while, going heavy on the ganks.
Yeah.
Does make sense though, because as everybody hits level 6 Toa, all the lanes have some form of hard CC for Lyra to work with, so he just has to get there fast to help out.
Speaking of getting there, he's got a good opportunity onto Kube here. Still no flash.
So fast.
Great timing here.
And look at the Gnar bar too. Great timing.
Oh, this could be just about perfect. Kube trying to get out, drops that Tempered Fate. Does not get the stuns he needs, and Lyra and Ixu going for that first blood. There's the repel. They don't get it. Wow.
Wow, Ixu.
How did that happen?
Didn't have the boulder toss up.
I guess.
Oh man,
Ambition!
Huge kill!
Gets the first blood onto that Nidalee, and he's going for a little bit more onto Ixu.
He saw him walk into that brush with the ward that was right outside the try. Goes for the flash play onto Lyra, who was low. Saw that he just has the boots of mobility, so not at all tanky yet. And Ambition gonna make the solo play and then chain it right into a red buff.
Wow, what a turnaround. I mean, that's a disaster too for Lyra, because he's got those boots, right? I mean, he wants to make picks, and he almost got it again. Couldn't quite pull it off, and then he gets killed.
Very nicely done. Good read. Ambition a couple levels up now. Look at that, 12 CS difference. And that hurts. Lyra sacrificed clear speed by delaying his jungle item for the boots because he needed, but that means you have to make plays while ganking.
And I suppose it seems reasonable to sacrifice a bit of that against an Italy that's going to be clearing slower anyway now, but...
Well, I mean, Italy still clears very fast. That's the problem, is that now Lyra invested in an item where he gave up first blood instead of getting it. Like, that was the whole point of buying those boots and getting that nice gank down in the first place, but yeah. Ixu just couldn't follow, didn't have his flash up. And it ends up in a bit of a train wreck for Afreeca, and they find themselves down by about 1,000 gold.
It's rough. First dragon is at Ocean Drake. Been up for a little while. No contesting just yet from either team.
A bit early. Drakes tend to come later now that we're in the standard lanes. Ixu has opted for Ninja Tabi with double Doran's Blade, so really going for an early game build with the items that don't turn into anything and trying to avoid some of that auto attack damage from Cube as he closes the gap with the phase dive.
Core JJ taking some damage. He's going to use the ultimate on that Braum. Ruler, meanwhile, doing a lot of damage to Songyun, moving up now on that Varus, or rather on the Jhin, but not able to get the kill on the Varus.
Still, 2 summoners for nothing right there. Samsung really bossing Afreeca around.
Yeah, Afreeca's starting to look a little bit timid this game after that gank attempt didn't work for Lyra. I think they're playing a bit scared now.
Well, they can't really do anything else. Lyra, his clear speed is super slow with the mobility boots. Ambition is very far ahead now. Lyra is taking huge amounts of damage from Ambition, who already has completed the runic echoes.
Had denied that blue buff too. From the Afreeca Freecs. They're going to just take it away. Give it over to Ambition, I think. Yep.
That's huge. Ambition really doing well this game. 22 CS up. Lyra just getting punished hard for his first purchase. Wow. Still 2 levels up too. Ambition's going to solo the Drake.
Yeah, why not? I mean, who's going to stop him at this point?
No, I mean, he knows Lyra's back. He just saw Mickey recall. It is 100% free Drake here for Ambition. Bottom lane is pushed up. Great call. And he's going to do some more counter jungling while he's at it, just trying to increase this giant CS gulf. And here comes the spears.
Yep, being annoying against Snowflower and Songyun underneath that turret. Do we see any sort of dive maybe? No, just poking.
Everything misses.
They don't really need to dive this anyway right now. As Lyra comes down, nearly eats a spear from Ambition, it looks like they will back off.
Yeah, they can't dive right now unless they use Crown's TP. Don't want to do that, so Ambition just tries to get the poke. Everything misses from both him and Ruler. But that's okay. Keeps the pressure on, keeps the minions moving into that turret.
Yep.
And Cube, a little bit of danger right now.
Not a splash. Ooh, how does he keep escaping like that? That's like the 3rd time now that he's gotten out with
that
like
was
sub 100 health.
Such cool nerves from Cube. Not ulting, not using his flash. Confident that he was going to be able to get out of that one. Cube will be, looks like, going for an Iceborne this game, so not going for a Trinity Force, playing a more tank defensive build on this Echo, considering he's not going to win the 1v1 matchup. But again, that just decreases the damage that Samsung is going to do even further. Like, having a damage Echo is valuable when your mid laner falls off and only has 1 damage spell on the bombs in the late game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this though. I'm not sure about going for an Iceborne.
Well, danger's real. Here comes Ambition to try to secure this kill onto Ixu. Spear doesn't hit though. So it'll still remain 1-0 in kills. In favor of Samsung. But maybe a little bit of damage on this mid lane turret. Yep, a little bit being done over time by Crown. Oh, Ixu going after Kube. Yeah, there's a ult against the wall. Kube having to flash away. Iksu going for it. Teleport coming in.
Oh no!
Wow,
Oh, he got it, he got it, he got it.
Off just in time. Kube trying to get away with now. Iksu in trouble, but Mickey comes in with the Lissandra ultimate to secure that kill. They're going to trade 1 for 1. Nice W from Mickey, though, sets up the double kill. He finally goes down, but it will be another one for Lyra in the end. Maybe Tom Kench coming
Ambition
in. Wow.
turns it around.
Got it. And now he's going to try to get away, but that's going to be tough. Nope. All right, he's just going to recall. Snowflower, I feel like he could have maybe pursued that one, but they're going to let it go.
Well, I was worried about that Italy first pick in game number 1, but Ambition is just putting on a show for us here in the 3rd game of this series. I thought that it was just a little bit too late, Doa, for Cube to get the chrono shift from the Zillion, but Crown made it just in time.
Yeah.
And that's a 3-for-2 trade over to Samsung, and they're able just to put more pressure on Songyun too.
Speaking of pressure, there's a flash taken out of Songyun.
Yeah, that the roam from Snowflower meant that Ruler and Core JJ were able to get so much damage down, nearly taking out the first turret of the game in the bot lane.
Yep.
Let's take a look at that again. This was so fun to watch. Cube trying to dodge out, gets gnarled, and remember, he doesn't have his ultimate right now. Already had used that chrono shift, so the TP comes in, boulder toss. Crown just shows up in the nick of time. Doesn't have to use his TP, so Mickey comes in. They're going to focus down Cube. They use everything onto him, except for the Ring of Frost. That's going to be, well, was saved right there for that play. But Ambition gets that kill, flashes out, and even though Lyra has vision, turns around. But remember, Ambition is so far ahead and has so much more damage that he's able just to make the play at point blank with the Nidalee and the Runic Echoes proc to finish off that kill. He's a full item ahead right now if you look at him. He's already got that Abyssal Scepter. And he's still 2 levels ahead also, so Lyra, had they been even in levels, probably would have picked that one up, but Ambition instead has won that advantage early and had the MR, so.
Well, going in onto the blue buff, and there's nothing that Snowflower can do about it. Just going to complete the recall, and Ambition takes the buff away.
Wow, getting Ambition more ahead. Ambition's
So
like, feed me.
Maybe Ambition's going to be the damage dealer here.
Well, Ambition is a higher level than both Mickey and Iksu right now, so.
Speaking of Iksu, under a little bit of pressure here.
By
Call
Iksu.
comes in, and a little bit of pressure. I meant he was going to die.
Yeah, Ambition is currently the highest level in this game, alongside Crown and now Mickey, but another kill.
That's going to be a turret taken too. 2 turrets for Samsung, and they're starting to pull ahead pretty significantly, about 5,000 gold already at only about 16 minutes.
Afreeca certainly assuming the Ambition submission position this game.
That's true. He's submitted to Ambition.
Yes.
Rift Herald being taken by the Afreeca Freecs, or I'm sorry, by Samsung.
We almost never see this taken, Noah.
Teleport coming in. Iksu coming from behind. This is the only battle over the Rift Herald you're going to see for a while, guys. So
Taken by Lyra.
That's right. They did manage to get it. Core JJ and the rest of Samsung trying to turn this run onto Afreeca now. Afreeca, though, coming out with the first kill. They will trade 1 and 1. Mickey biding his time, ulted himself to stay alive. Lyra very low in the back lines. Ambition looking for a spear. He hits Songyun. That would have been a kill onto Lyra if it had connected, though.
Try go for it. No, can't quite hit the bomb. A little bit out of range. And there's the, oh wow, Deadly Flourish. Doesn't finish him, but he's still ticking. He's still ticking. Nope, not going to do it. Songyun had the potion. Did outlast the Deathfire touch.
Bye.
Down to the toilet with you, Songyun.
I guess so. He's been flushed.
Into the space toilet.
Space Toilet Varus, is that the name of the skin? I'm pretty sure you're right. I think it is.
Sadly, toilets don't work in space, Doa.
Well, space toilets work in space.
Not like that.
They're made to work in space.
Maybe someday, Doa, they'll invent a space toilet with a micro black hole that would actually work.
Maybe. I mean,
unfortunately, you cannot flush things in space. Zero gravity doesn't work that way.
And if you send that stuff through a black hole, I mean, yeah, it's out of our universe maybe, but where does it end up? Somebody's going to be pretty unhappy on the other side.
Who cares about what happens in other dimensions, Noah? I don't. I'm going to fill it with poop.
See? That's just the attitude people had towards our oceans monster. So it was like another dimension for a long time.
I'm pretty sure I'm never going to need those other dimensions, Noah. That's a problem for my great grandchildren.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what all those cavemen said when they dumped all the plastic into our oceans. You know? Well, Baron's coming up soon. Hooray. But Afreeca Freecs, yeah, they may have more damage late, but they've got a long way to go if they want to win this game.
Yeah, this is a commanding performance from Samsung, and even though Cuvée has struggled individually, Ambition is carrying mightily.
Yes, he is. 4-0-2 on that Nidalee. Looking pretty strong, to say the least. Now, how cleanly can they close this one out? Because you think if it does go late, if the Afreeca Freecs are able to kind of stall this out, it would still get a little bit iffy here and there for Samsung. Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah, I agree. I think that they still have to be concerned about the pace of this game. They're going to have to start setting up and sieging as 5, which is exactly what they want to do. Get those bombs down and dissuade Afreeca from being able to even defend. That's what you do. Put down the Relo Convergence, walk up.
Yep, zoning with the Zillion bombs as well.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, really clean, getting a lot of damage under that middle turret.
Yep, this is what you do with this composition for Samsung, and if anybody gets caught out or get engaged on, at least you have the Chrono Shift to make things all better. Chrono Shift and Chrono Break, so many changes in Chronos.
Chrono stuff. Maybe the teleport coming in from the Afreeca Freecs.
I mean, but look at the pink boards. This is beautiful from Samsung.
Yeah, they're going to see Mickey come in.
And
But they still might be in trouble here. Well, we'll see. Ruler gets blown up. He's going to be alive, though. Zillion ult doing work. Mickey's still threatening, though. I mean, Afreeca pushing things back, but now Mickey in trouble. That curtain call. Cuvée coming in to try to capitalize on it. One more shot. Snowflower blocks it, though. Eats up Mickey. Ruler, though, going to get that kill into the top catch. And there's a double now for that Jin. And Samsung just destroying the Afreeca Freecs. Goodbye, Lyra. Triple kill now for the Jin.
Ambition's not done.
Nope, there's a double kill for him. So that is an ace, a perfect ace for Samsung, and they will be able to claim probably an inhibitor out of this.
The setup from Samsung was so good, Noah. Look at the pink wards on the map right now. Pink ward on right side of river, pink ward on left side of river, pink ward behind river, or behind them next to their turret, pink ward by Baron. There was no way to get a TP flank anywhere near Samsung. They had so much time to disengage. Mickey gets onto Jin, but it doesn't matter. Chrono Shift is there. Everybody else is already kiting. They're ahead. They get the damage down from the poke. Beautifully played by Samsung, and they completely shut down Afreeca.
Yeah, decide to go for that Baron rather than keeping the push going in mid lane.
Well, I'm really excited to see this replay. So look at this. This is how you siege, guys. Look at the pink wards. Everything has already been cleared. Methodical setup, so they get onto Ruler. But you know what? Crown's ready for that. Instant use of the Chrono Shift right there, and then it's just all about kiting. Look how well they play the zones. They spread out. There's no more engage from Afreeca, and then they collapse on them with poke from all sides. Curtain Call chases them down the lane. They continue to get stunned there by the parallel convergence and the bombs from Crown, and it's just a gorgeous ace from Samsung.
Wow. So now, the Afreeca Freecs have a 6-0-4 Nidalee to deal with and a 4-0-2 Jin.
Yeah, they're not going to win this
good luck.
game, though. I mean,
Yeah.
they got the Baron buff, and this is a composition that is frightening, terrifying with Baron because they're so good at sieging. It's an excellent siege composition. This is the last kind of comp you want with a Baron.
Yeah.
So it's not going to stop here. 11,000 gold the differential as it stands, and this should be an easy win for Samsung.
Well, we're only at 23 minutes, too, so the amount of
Ambition just put this team on its back.
Yeah. The lead that this Nidalee was able to get Samsung is pretty insane. Lyra locked up a little bit. The Deadly Flourish, but doesn't matter. They just want the turrets. They came to take those. Curtain Call used. Mickey has to W Core JJ and then back off.
I have to say it again, though. I'm just so impressed with Samsung's shot calling with Core JJ. They looked lost in the regular season when they played with him. But again, the last time we saw him was June 24th. It's been months. And it looks like they really have solved their shot calling issues with Core, because that setup was airtight from Samsung. And they're pushing their advantages much better than they did with Core previously.
I mean, just individually, too. Core JJ is playing better than we've seen him play.
Yeah, he was
ever.
great. His first game on Braum professionally right here.
Yeah.
Doing super well. His Bard game, his ultimates were on point.
Take the inhibitor, no problem. Meanwhile, top lane, tier 2 goes down. And the pushing continues. So, like you said, with this Baron buff, Samsung really in a position to get a lot done.
Really nice job. Crack the base, get all the tier 2s. Such nice play from Samsung. Afreeca hasn't been able to duplicate that Lysandra performance from Vicky as in game number 1. The Zillion pick against the Lysandra really did shut it down, so Samsung showing some new picks here in the gauntlet that we haven't seen from them all season. We haven't seen Crown play Talia, we haven't seen him play Zillion.
Well, some more food for thought if you're KT Rolster, I suppose.
I mean,
Series
Fly
not over
plays
yet.
both of them better than Crown does, but those picks.
Oh, all right, Snowflower saving the day there. He's got a bomb inside him, though.
But yes, that is a good point. Showing that they can play the Zillion means that it may weirdly be a contested pick in the series between Samsung and KT.
If Tom Kench ate a spider with a bomb on it, if I could think of things least appealing to eat in the entire universe, a spider with a bomb on it is probably one of the things I would never want to put in my mouth.
Well, Tom Kench is a catfish, so I assume he likes eating bugs.
I guess, but bugs with bombs on them?
Probably not the bomb part, but at least it's not quite as bad, right?
And see, really, a spider's not a bug.
That's true.
The bug suggests insects. Spiders are arachnids, Monte Cristo.
I'm pretty sure Tom Kench eats arachnids, too.
Perhaps. Either way, not ones with bombs on them.
I think he just proved you wrong, though.
Yeah, but he didn't do it because he wanted to. He did it because he felt obligated. To save that spider's life. Afreeca Freecs having to defend 2 destroyed inhibitors now.
This game's over. We're going to be heading into game 4 soon, unless Samsung manages to make some sort of colossal error.
Possible, but unlikely.
Decisive game here. So far, our most decisive game of this best of 5, and even though the Baron buff has fallen away from Samsung, they continue to want to press forward with Echo driving super minions into the Afreeca base.
I suppose the most shocking thing here is just still that Core JJ has been playing so well on this Bard.
Yep.
Or this Braum, rather, yeah. Bard and Braum. Third call
All the
used, they're going to try to push in. That's right. Try to push in. Blitzcrank is next. Nice ult from Ixu. That sets it up for Afreeca Freecs. This is their big moment, but it looks like it's just not quite enough. Yeah, not quite enough damage. Finally, a kill comes in for Lyra. Double kill, though, in response for Ruler. And as Songyun goes down, you got to think this is going to be the end of the game. Yep, Samsung rushing over to the mid lane, where they have a minion wave with the super minions already there. And Samsung will take a sub-30-minute game 3.
Afreeca did what they could. They had to engage right there. It was a good engage. Unfortunately, already 15,000 gold behind meant that even though they took the risk, there's not anything to save them. They have to turn their sights to game 4 to keep their world's hopes alive instead.
That's right. GG. Samsung 1 game away from going on to face KT Rolster on Saturday for that final spot at the 2016 League of Legends World Championships. Pretty exciting stuff. If you're ambition, you want this real bad.
Well, ambition, what do you say? 7-0-8, participation in 15 out of 16 kills, dominating early, punishing Lyra for the mobility boots first build, and cruising to a victory. Great setup, great execution from Samsung, and now they are on the cusp of facing KT for the final slot from Worlds.
Yeah, and with the way these games have been going, you got to think Samsung, just like we said at the beginning of the day, has the advantage going into this. The Afreeca Freecs are going to have to dig real deep, I think, if they want to tie up the series.
Hey, they reverse swept earlier this week, so had the fortitude to come back before. We'll see if they can do it again. As we take a look here, Sangyun really, or Ruler rather, delivering on the Jin.
The Afreeca Freecs, to be fair, have been playing better tonight than what we saw from them on Monday against Jin Air too.
That's true.
So, anything can happen. Samsung, though, I think feeling pretty comfortable going into this break. I want to know what's going on in these cheerfuls. I don't know. Watch some replays. This, I believe, was the last break.
Yeah, I mean, you take this opportunity. It was a really good engage, taking the Abyssal Voyage with the Meganar in their last shot at winning this game. Mickey also had the exhaust on him early, so he doesn't actually have his damage reduced when he self-vaults. Nearly takes out Ruler, but with the Chrono shift still up, not really quite enough to take this game as Cuba and Ambition get into the back line. And that seals it up. Just too much of a deficit, even with a good team fight from Afreeca.
Yep. So does Italy get banned or not? When we come back, we'll find out, guys. Samsung 1 game away from winning it. Yep. Keep crown cool. Needs to stay relaxed. We'll be back, guys, right after this. Don't go anywhere. Game number 4 between Samsung and the Afreeca Freecs. Coming right up on OGN, right after the green commentators stop talking, and I can send it to break. It's not up to me. It's up to them. I'm just along for the ride, like you are. But what a wild ride it's been. Wild and wonderful. We'll be back right after this.